Ooh, Matt exposed as clout chaser after shocking past surfaces. Did different acting gigs. Now we do know, and we was aware, at least I was anyway, and something we spoke about in the past, that Matt is an actor, or at least was an actor. So let's get into exactly what this article obviously, reveals. So obviously when it comes to Matt never shared much about his career on the show. He met Jasmine at the gym and agreed to fulfill her sexual needs. The 90 Day Fiancé star entered her and Gina's marriage as a third person. I wouldn't go as far as call him a 90 Day star, but it is what it is. Soon, Jasmine welcomed a baby with Matt, and the dynamics changed completely. The former allegedly conceived a baby with other marriage guy when her husband kicked her out of his life. Since then, Matt has been helping Jasmine out, and they are living a happy life. The former confessed his feelings for his baby mama several times on the show. However, viewers feel things might not be as rosy as they appear. They believe Matt is a paid actor who joined the show to boost his acting career. Is that true? Is he faking everything? I mean, listen, for him to get Jasmine pregnant just to fake it, that's just crazy business. For me personally, I've said it before and I say it again. I personally think that he got Jasmine pregnant because he really wants to be with her, but each time he asked on the show whether or not she would finally leave Gina for him, she kept telling him no, pretty much. And even now that Gina's completely out of the picture, Jasmine still sees him nothing but as a friend and also nothing but as a baby father. So, I mean, that is that part too. But, is it true or is it a possibility that he used Jasmine to get on the 90 Day show so therefore he could boost his acting career? Now that could easily be a potential. Now here's the thing, maybe he planned to use her to begin with, but then actually ended up falling for her and therefore ended up getting her pregnant. Or there's also a part where he thought, you know what, she's a beautiful woman, I might as well use it to get on the TV, and in the meantime, if I can get a little bit of fun out of it, I'll do that. And then boom, bam, his feelings then decided to take over. Either way though, anything could have happened. But as you can see here, Jasmine made a post saying, don't miss this amazing opportunity. Obviously hiring, looking for someone to take care of me financially full-time only. Now, this is an interesting post, but let's get into the where it goes next. Jasmine wants another sugar daddy after using Matt. And this is where things definitely take a turn. Interesting. Jasmine received huge backlash when she demanded an open marriage with Gina. If anything, she should have asked for a divorce to Gina rather than asking for a freaking open marriage. But hey, Jasmine is Jasmine and she'll do anything to create that dramatic storyline. Now, with that being said, she wanted Gina to either fulfill her sexual needs or let someone else do it. Now, let's be real. When it came to fulfilling her sexual needs, that's something that she knew was never going to happen because her and Gino just never really had that type of relationship. That's what it comes down to. So she knew bringing someone in was always going to be either her option or leaving it would be the other option. But at the same time, though, there's a chance that Jasmine just did not want to leave Gino so soon because it wouldn't look good on her part. But then again, though, we've had other 90 Day people come on the show and leave their spouses like literally straight to getting a green card. Mohammed, if you know what I'm saying. Michael, if you know what I'm saying. Who is the other guy? Hamza, if you know what I'm saying. But let's continue. She wanted Junior to fulfill what I have said. The 90 Day star didn't want to beg her husband to sleep with her, even though she did. Then we had Kimberly, famously for begging Usman to sleep with her. Ugh. Anyway, Jasmine welcomed a baby girl with Matt and lived her American dream with her husband when her husband dumped her. However, she seems to be looking for a new sugar daddy and been split rumors with her baby daddy. The TLC star posted a story on Instagram. She was looking for someone who would take care financially. Jasmine shared the funny post, which also included that this was a full-time role. Many viewers felt she might be looking for a new guy to sponsor her extravagant lifestyle. Fans are already aware of her habit of jumping from one man to another for money and fame. So here's the thing, that post stuff in particular, if anything, she probably did it as a little dig or a little joke, because let's be real, anything that people accuse her of, she would take to social media to make an example out of it. So to be honest with you, I'm not saying that this is not the case. What I'm saying is that post wasn't an indication of the fact that she wanted a new man. It was just an indication to just mock people who say that this is what she does, even though this is what she does. And to be real, let's be real. When it comes to her relationship with Matt, we know that Matt has been doing the same thing that Gina was doing, and that is looking after Jasmine financially. Look at it this way, when she moved out or when she was kicked out by Gino, she moved into Matt's place rent-free. And the whole time they were living together, this man was extending his lease, and he ended up even paying double the rent than he needed to when they were still in Michigan. Something that we did see in one of the most recent episodes. And then now we also, and then because of that, Matt said, listen, I now need to move. And Florida was then the destination, which Jasmine, of course, ended up falling to. Now, of course, if she knows that she's moving to Florida, somewhere with better weather than Michigan, somewhere that's a bit closer to home in terms of the weather and the vibe, maybe, well, of course she's going to take that opportunity, despite the fact that at first she reacts as if she won that opportunity. But, of course, she took the opportunity to go to Florida with Matt, one, for the weather, two, if you ask me personally, because she knew that he was going to continue funding her life. Because really and truly, if the man doesn't have the dollar, Jasmine doesn't want to know. And that's something that I believe that we can all agree on. Let me know your thoughts on that one. Now, with that being said, though, we move on to the next part where it does say here that 90 Day fans think Matt joined the show for clout. Again, I think personally, if you said to me he joined the show for clout originally, I would not argue that at all. Now, it's just a matter of the fact that he just benefits in many ways. Jasmine and Gino never had the perfect marriage. Fans knew their marriage won't last, but they were in disbelief when the reality star allowed a third person into their marriage. Matt agreed to enter the mix, but he ended up falling in love with Jasmine. That part. The TLC star made everyone believe that he was Jasmine's savior, and they also welcomed a baby together. Yeah, that part. And to be fair, bringing in a baby to the mix has definitely made people dislike Jasmine even more. Why? Because we know she's already got two boys in Panama that are still nowhere to be seen when it comes to them being stateside, or nowhere to be seen when it comes to any updates regarding the visa process that is allegedly happening, according to Jasmine and also according to her lawyer. But I say allegedly because a lot of viewers don't believe that this is actually happening. Either way, though, let's get into this one. Now, of course, a thread was then made on Reddit regarding, obviously, Matt himself with a photo of him in the past. And obviously, as you can see here, this is something that speaks about what is Matthew's job. Okay, and obviously, Matthew is an actor. He earned his degree from Eastern Michigan University before pursuing a career in acting. His filmography. I can't even say the bloody word. Includes a 1960s American streamer, Hunters, Stagecoach Stop, and Clayman. Alongside from his acting, he's active on Instagram, where he shares his passion for cars and frequently posts selfies. He currently has 9,000k followers on his account. And let's be real, if he was to gain so much more followers from the clout he gets from being with Jasmine, as well as the clout of him potentially returning with Jasmine for another season, we know that his viewership is probably going to go up. And what does that do for people today? Some people, when their viewership goes up, it can open up opportunities for them in certain fields, because, well, some fields want to bring in people with a high following because they see that person as somebody who can bring in their followers into their business. Do you see what I'm saying? So even if he was to benefit from the follower aspect of the exposure from 90 Day and also being with Jasmine, obviously that means he's got a better chance of being recruited for maybe a smaller, for maybe a role with a lower budget company or more upcoming company. You never know, it could help him. But then at the same time, though, we've noticed that Natalie had this goal this whole time, and Natalie is still in a position where, yeah, she's still a 90 Day fiance with no acting roles. Yeah, but then again, obviously, I guess it comes down to also who your agent is, and it comes down to obviously who you know, and also comes down to if you're smart enough to really push through the window, and maybe he knows something that Natalie doesn't. But that is here or there. Now, with that being said, though, it does continue here by saying that Jasmine often gushes over her baby daddy and their daughter for their genuine bond. However, viewers feel Matt did everything for his acting career. Recently, a Redditor shared a picture of himself with his ex-wife. In it, he posted with a woman at the beach as he smiled at camera. The OP wrote, Matt is an actor. He went to, well, obviously this is the part that we read above, but obviously he went to Eastern Michigan University before pursuing a career in acting. Matt was a part of many big hits, including, now I didn't realize the films that we obviously listed a second ago were actually big hits. Fair enough. Obviously, I haven't obviously seen them, so it is what it is. But also continue by saying, hence the user believes he and Jasmine are grifting their fans and milking money for attention with their fake love story. Fans were not much surprised as they already knew the 90 Day star's acting career. But of course, these are the opinions that people had prior to Jasmine then getting pregnant. But then again, though, it doesn't mean that it's still not part of the plan. One fan said he did everything to be on TV. Another Another user felt Jasmine faked the entire story with Matt for an anchor baby to save her American visa. And there's also that part too. Some others speculated that a woman in the photo was his sister and not an ex-wife. Sarah fans agreed that the whole story is scripted and they are waiting to see Jasmine break up with Matt. Which, to be fair, ladies and gentlemen, that could easily be a possibility, okay? Because Jasmine is definitely somebody that is not in relationship for the long term, but nothing but the short term. If anything, she's with them until they can't pay anymore, or she's with them until she finds someone else who can give her a slightly better life. Obviously, when it came to Gina, on the other hand, she just needed to find a man that was going to give her a better life in the bedroom. And then, of course, the baby then came along. About that. Well, here's the thing, folks. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think that that Matt is still with Jasmine purely to, be on TV? Do you think Jasmine's baby and Matt's baby is an anchor baby? Or do you believe that originally maybe there was a plan for them to just be together for the sake of being on TV? But then obviously things got a bit interesting when they ended up realizing that feelings were there, and then boom, bam, there's a baby. I don't know. There's so many possible angles you can look at this, but I just think bringing the baby into the equation is where things got a little bit more different, and that's where speculations kind of change a little bit. Because damn, if a baby was born for the purposes of using for a gain in some kind that just isn't for the sake of loving a child, well, then that is just messed up. And I want to choose to not believe that that was the case. I would like to believe that maybe they had a plan to begin with, but then after that they just fell in love, or Matt at least did anyway. But either way though, the matter of the fact is, it doesn't change the fact that Jasmine still had a child with a man that she doesn't even see as her partner. And that is crazy, because a lot of us, or a lot of people, are under the influence that Jasmine got pregnant. Did that this baby wasn't necessarily by accident, because, well, when Gina was trying to have a child with her, she couldn't get pregnant all of a sudden. All of a sudden, Matt comes in, and then boom, bam, a child happens. Again, so many speculations, so many ways people want to look at it. But you let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section, and then we can talk about it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course, peace.